Our research focuses on how teenage bullying can affect brain and behaviour. It's an unfortunate reality in our society that many teens are bullied. In fact, around the world, 1 out of every 10 teens reports being bullied on a daily basis. The bullying can be physical, verbal, psychological. It doesn't matter what form it takes. The main thing is that the victim is always being harassed. For a lot of these teens, the negative outcomes of bullying on mental health actually appear in later life, in adult years. Substance abuse and increased anxiety are among the problems that result from teenage bullying, which can also include depression and even schizophrenia. What our research is trying to understand is how the teenage brain can be so dramatically affected by the stress of being bullied to result in impairments in brain function later in life. As we grow, the brain matures from back to front. And the region at the front of the brain, known as the prefrontal cortex, is undergoing massive amounts of developmental change during the teenage years. Our research has shown that the stress of being bullied overactivates the neurotransmitter dopamine in this part of the teenage brain. This overactivation of the dopamine system disrupts its normal development and actually leads to a loss of dopamine function in adulthood. Dopamine activity in the prefrontal cortex is crucial for controlling complex cognitive tasks, things like making decisions, paying attention, controlling our emotions, and this is especially the case during times of stress. During adult life, we are constantly confronted with stressful situations. Having reduced prefrontal cortex dopamine activity in adulthood means that our ability to think and reason during times of stress is going to be impaired. This, in turn, can promote negative ways of trying to cope with stress, such as increased abuse of drugs. We've shown that the reduced prefrontal dopamine caused by the teenage bullying experience directly results in cognitive impairments along with increased drug seeking. Now, our research is uncovering the neural mechanisms that cause this reduction in dopamine activity. So far, we've identified changes in how dopamine is released in the prefrontal cortex as being a major contributor to causing the loss of dopamine function in adulthood. Unfortunately, teenage bullying is never going to disappear, even though we know it's a huge problem with devastating outcomes for the victims, many of which will persist into later life. Our ultimate goal is to help people lead happier, healthier lives, and we hope that our research will identify the mechanisms in the brain that are broken by teenage bullying so that we can develop better tools for fixing the problems that bullying causes.